Yo, what's up, guys? My name is Nicholas Earl, and welcome back to another episode of Earl Sports Bets. And today we get our first full slate of NBA. Last night we had 2 games. Tonight we have 13, so we have a lot to get over. But first, we are going to recap yesterday. Plain and simple, we lost. We had Golden State plus 7.5. They got absolutely demolished. And then we had the Lakers -3, which they were down a lot, started to come back and didn't end up losing the game by, I believe, 9 points, if I'm not mistaken. So 0-2, not a good start to the NBA season. But let's get right on track here for we got a lot of games today, so let's get right into the action here. First game, we get a star-studded matchup between the Charlotte Hornets and the Cleveland Cavaliers. -2.5, or 2.5 point spread, -135 for the Hornets, +115 for the Cavaliers. And Hornets look like they could potentially be a little bit better this year. They drafted LaMelo Ball in the draft. My model has this game being Hornets by 5.8 points. So we are taking Charlotte -2.5 today versus the Cleveland Cavaliers to win and cover here in Cleveland. Next, we have Indiana Pacers hosting the New York Knicks. And I think the New York Knicks can be a little bit of a sneaky team this year, by the way. 8-point spread, -325 for the Pacers, +270 for the Knicks. And the Knicks are going to have a little bit of a nice little trio there with R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, and Obi Toppin. My pick for this game is the New York Knicks +8 points. My model has the Pacers by 1.2 points in this game. So this should be a nice close game. I think the Knicks keep it close, and they cover the 8-point spread here against the Pacers tonight. Next, we get a battle of Florida teams. We have the defending Eastern Conference champions, Miami Heat, heading to Orlando to take on the Magic. And I think this game is going to be close. My model has this game at less than half of a point. They have Miami by 0.3 points. That being said, we are taking Orlando +5 for this game, hoping they keep it close and cover 5-point spread against Miami tonight. Should be a interesting matchup for that game. Next, we have the Washington Wizards taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. 7-point spread, -290, run back of +245. Wizards are going to be an interesting team this year. I think, should be fun. I believe they got Russell Westbrook in that trade with Houston. My pick for this game is the Wizards +7. My model has 76ers by 0.8 points. So another one where it should be a close game here, and I just feel like taking the points in potential close games here in the beginning of the season is a nice way to go. We like some dogs tonight. 3 straight in a row, and that's not slowing down anytime soon, I don't think, for the dog picks. So we are taking the Wizards +7 tonight versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Next, we have the Milwaukee Bucks heading into Boston to take on the Celtics, and this should be a fun game. This is a potential for Eastern Conference Finals written all over it, and I think the Celtics come in and they keep this close and they cover the spread and potentially win this game. My model has Celtics by 0.7 points, so maybe a +160 here. Money line could be an interesting play as well. I like the Celtics to win this game and will then obviously cover the +4 against Milwaukee tonight. Should be a great game to watch as well. Next, we get Zion Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans taking on the Toronto Raptors. 3.5-point spread, -160 for the Raptors, +140 for the Pelicans. And this is another one where I like the dog, and I like the money line on the dog as well. My model has the Pelicans by 3.1 points. This is going to be a very good team this year. I definitely see them as a playoff team, potentially winning the division. So sign me up for some Pelicans money line as well as the +3.5. It's probably split half a unit each or a unit each or something along those lines. But give me the Pelicans here to beat the Raptors tonight in Toronto. Next, we have the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Chicago Bulls, and this should be another decent game. My model has this actually one of the higher value plays of the day will be the Atlanta Hawks at -2. My model has the Hawks winning this game by 8.8 points, which creates a nice 6.8 points of value on this line, one of the highest on the slate. I think there's only one team with a higher value, which I'm going to be laying a good amount of money on as well tonight. But Atlanta Hawks, 6.8 points of value. This is going to be a 2-unit play for me tonight. Next, we have an interesting situation here with Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the Houston Rockets, with some reports coming out that Harden broke COVID protocols, so he might be out tonight along with John Wall and a couple of other players. I bet this game earlier in the day before all that news came out, and I got Oklahoma City plus 6.5, which I'm absolutely loving that ticket now. But I'm still okay with betting the Thunder plus 2 here. My model has this as a 2-point Thunder win. So this should be a good, close game. And I think the Thunder comes out and wins this game against a Rockets team that's going to be missing a lot of their best players. So OKC is still a good play, even though I got them 4.5 points ago. Next, we have the San Antonio Spurs taking on the Memphis Grizzlies, and this is another one of these very high value games. 2-point spread for -128 for the Grizzlies, plus 108 for the Spurs. And I'm going to be taking the Spurs in this matchup plus 2. My model has them as winning by 5.7 points. So this is probably going to be another 2-unit play for me. Spurs with 7.7 points of value at that plus 2 line. And I definitely think a plus 108 is definitely valid to bet here. If you don't want to pay the minus 113 for the plus 2, if you want that plus money, I'm totally down for that. This should be the favorite. I think should be the opposite team that is favorited. And I think the Spurs get this win here tonight against the Grizzlies. Next, we get the Detroit Pistons taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. And this Pistons team went out and traded for a few players. They should be decent this year. My model has this, or my bad, it's a 5.5 point spread, -240 for the Timberwolves, plus 200 for the Pistons. I'm going to be taking the Pistons plus 5.5 in this game. My model has them winning by 0.2 points, so maybe plus 200 stab would not be a bad idea here for the Pistons tonight. It's opening day, so you guys never know what these teams could look like. So definitely a plus 200 on a game that should be more towards a pick'em. Definitely, I like that a lot. Next, we get the Sacramento Kings heading to Denver to play the Nuggets. 7.5 point spread, -315 for the Nugs, plus 285 for the or 265 for the Kings. And we are going to be taking the Nuggets here at the -7.5. My model has them winning by 13.7 points, creating 6.2 points of value on this line. I really like that value. They're another potential 2-unit play for me. And I think they take care of business here and beat up on this much less superior Kings team. Next, we have the Utah Jazz heading to Portland to take on the Trailblazers. 1-point spread, -125, plus 105 run back. And we're going to be taking the Jazz at -1 here. This is the biggest value play on the day. Take the Jazz. They are favored by 1 point, and my model has them winning by 9.8, creating 8.8 points of value on this line. Bet it now. This is the best value on this slate. So the Utah Jazz are my number 1 play of the day. So that should be pretty self-explanatory there. And our final game of the night, we have a pick'em between the Dallas Mavericks and the Phoenix Suns. And we're going to be taking Phoenix here. My model has them winning by 5.1 points. I believe Porzingis is out tonight, so that should be according to my model, a 5-point win for the Suns tonight. So let's go over our plays for this 13-game NBA slate. We have the Hornets at -2.5, the Knicks at +8, Magic at +5, Wizards +7, Celtics +4, Pelicans +3.5, Hawks -2, Thunder +2, Spurs +2, Pistons +5.5, Nuggets -7.5, Jazz -1, and Suns as a pick'em. That is going to wrap up this video. If this information was helpful to you guys at any point, feel free to hit that thumbs up button and be sure to subscribe to the channel. We have tons of content coming out to you guys. So be sure to subscribe and have your post notifications on so you guys are notified every single time we come out with a video here at Earl Sports Bets. We have tons of content, as you can tell by the side right here. We have NFL, college basketball, college football, UFC, esports, NBA, WNBA, NHL, and MLB. So we have tons of content coming out to you guys. So be sure to subscribe. And but that is going to do it for this video. Let's cash some tickets. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys.